The Kazat Dominion entered human space with full confidence. Their fleet was huge, more than 50 warships, shining with dark red armor. Their commander, Admiral Verex, believed humans were still a young and noisy species. In his mind, humans talked too much but acted too little. When the first human transmission arrived, the alien officers expected a long diplomatic message. Instead, they received only one short sentence: "You have crossed into human territory. Turn back now." No second warning. The bridge fell silent for a moment. Then the Kazat officers laughed. To them, this message sounded like fear. They thought humans were begging, not threatening. Admiral Verex ordered the fleet to continue forward. For a while, everything looked peaceful. The space around them was quiet, too quiet. No human ships, no defense stations, no radio signals. It felt empty, like a dead zone. But the sensors began acting strangely. Small energy waves flickered around the fleet, like shadows passing through space. The Kazat engineers tried to scan them, but the readings made no sense. Every time they locked on, the signals vanished. Verex dismissed the anomaly. "Just background noise," he said. "Humans do not have the power to hide ships from us." But the truth was different. Humans were watching them closely. Hidden in the darkness, human stealth ships recorded every movement, every heat signature, every communication. The Kazat had no idea they were already surrounded. The deeper the aliens moved into human space, the thicker the strange energy waves became. Their long-range sensors dropped offline. Then the navigation grid began to flicker. Still, Verex refused to believe humans were a threat. He smiled at his officers and said, "Humans are weak. They should fear us." He did not know these would be his last confident words, because the humans were waiting, and they never warned twice. The Kazat fleet moved deeper into human space, unaware that every meter they traveled pulled them deeper into a silent trap. Admiral Verex still wore his confident smile. But the officers around him were beginning to feel uneasy. The first real problem appeared when the fleet's long-range scanners suddenly failed. They tried rebooting the system, but the screens remained dark. No star maps. No ship positions. No incoming signals. The navigator whispered, "Sir, we are blind." Verex refused to accept it. "Impossible. Our technology is far superior to anything humans have built." But the truth was simple. Humans were jamming them with precision technology the Kazat had never seen before. Moments later, the communication array static filled the speakers. Then, sharp clicking noises like coded taps echoed through every ship. The aliens tried to translate the pattern, but their system could not process it. Unknown to them, it was a human signal test. Outside, space grew darker. Not naturally dark, artificially dark, as if something large was blocking distant starlight. The Kazat looked through their windows and saw strange metal debris floating everywhere. Broken hull plates, burned engines, twisted frames. They thought these were ruins of human ships, but they were wrong. These were fleets from other species empires that had tried to enter human space before and failed. Still, Verex refused to call for retreat. No more fear. Forward. The fleet obeyed, but their engines began to lag. Something was interfering with propulsion, small metallic particles sticking to their hulls. The engineers scraped samples and ran tests. Their faces turned pale. "It's nanotechnology," one engineer said. "Self-replicating human tech is eating our outer armor." The bridge went silent. For the first time, Admiral Verex felt a spark of doubt. Something was hunting them, and it was getting closer. The Kazat fleet slowed to a crawl. Their engines struggled. Their scanners were dead. And the strange human nanotech continued crawling over their hulls, like cold metal insects. Admiral Verex tried to hide his growing fear, but the tension on the bridge was impossible to ignore. A sudden alarm broke the silence. Unknown object appearing directly ahead. The sensor officer shouted, but the scanners were offline. This meant only one thing. The object was close. Very close. The stars shifted, and then out of the darkness a single human ship appeared. It didn't warp and It didn't fire engines, it simply decloaked, as if peeling the darkness off itself. The ship was small compared to the Kazat flagship, only 1/10 the size. Its surface was smooth black metal with faint blue lines glowing like calm, steady heartbeat pulses. No weapons were visible. No weapons were visible, no movement, it just floated there. Silent, the Kazat officers looked confused. This is a human warship. Someone muttered. Admiral Verix ordered a scan, but nothing worked. Frustrated, he commanded, "Open fire. Let this pest be a warning." The Kazat flagship unleashed a full energy blast. Red beams tore through space straight toward the human ship. But the beam bent, not dodged, not blocked, bent. Like light bending around a black hole. It curved away from the human ship and dissolved into space. Impossible. Verix shouted. The human ship responded with a single message. A calm voice, almost bored. "This is your final chance. Leave human space." The aliens laughed nervously. They thought it was a joke. Then lights appeared behind them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 human ships decloaked in perfect formation, silent, motionless, watching, and for the first time. The Kazat understood. Humans were not weak. Humans were waiting. Admiral Verix stared at the 10 human ships in disbelief. They hovered silently behind his fleet cold.com, and perfectly aligned, like predators circling prey. Not a single thruster flickered. Not a single weapon glowed. They didn't need to show strength. Their presence alone was enough. "Turn the fleet around," one officer shouted. "No." Verix snapped. "We fight." But even he didn't sound sure anymore. The Kazat opened fire again. Hundreds of plasma bolts, missiles, and energy beams launched at the human ships. The entire space lit up with red and gold streaks. None of them hit. The beams twisted. The missiles reversed direction. The plasma scattered into harmless sparks. It looked like the human ships were wrapped in invisible gravity nets that bent reality around them. Then the counterattack began. It happened without sound, without warning, without any visible weapon. A pulse of blue light shimmered from the lead human ship, just one pulse. The Kazat ships shook violently as every system overloaded. Lights flickered, shields collapsed, engines died, weapons froze, control panels sparked and shut down. On the bridge of the Kazat flagship, officers fell out of their chairs as the ship lost control. What was that?" someone cried. A human AI voice echoed through the communication system. "Non-lethal, disabling round. You are no longer a threat." Then smaller human drones appeared fast, needle-like machines with surgical precision. They sliced through Kazat hulls, disabling engines and weapons, but never hitting a living being. It was as if humans knew exactly where every crew member was located. The Kazat tried to surrender, but their communication system was dead. They were trapped, blind, powerless. Admiral Verix gripped his chair until his claws cracked. For the first time in his life, he understood fear. Humans didn't win battles, they ended them. The entire Kazat fleet floated helplessly in silence. Their engines were disabled, their weapons shut down, and their systems flickered like dying lights. Not a single ship could move. Admiral Verix stared at the dark screens, feeling a cold weight in his chest. He had entered human space with pride. Now, he felt like a prisoner in the middle of a battlefield he could not understand. A soft sound broke the silence. Click, click, click. The communication screens rebooted on their own. Static formed, then cleared, showing the face of a human captain. He looked calm. Not angry. Not aggressive. Just too calm. "Alien fleet," the captain said. "You violated human space." His voice was steady, emotionless. "You were warned." The Kazat officers trembled. Some bowed their heads, others stared at the floor. Even the strongest warriors understood that this was not a negotiation. This was judgment. Admiral Verix stepped forward. We surrender," he whispered. The human captain nodded slightly. "Surrender accepted. You will be escorted out of human territory." The aliens looked relieved for a moment, till the captain continued, "But understand this clearly." The screen zoomed in slightly, and his eyes seemed to pierce through every ship. "Humans do not warn twice." His words echoed through every Kazat vessel. Officers swallowed hard. Warriors felt their legs weaken. Even Varric felt chills run through his spine. The human ships moved into position. Thin beams of blue light hit the Kazat ships not to destroy, but to mark them. Strange glowing symbols formed on their hulls. A universal code: entered human space. Disabled warned once. This mark would stay on their ships forever, a permanent reminder of their defeat. The human captain ended the transmission with a final sentence: "Remember this, and live." The screen faded to black dot, and the silence felt heavier than any weapon. The Kazat fleet moved slowly as the human ships guided them out of human space. Their engines worked again, but only at half power, just enough to escape, not enough to return as conquerors. Every alien officer watched the silent human formation with fear and respect. No one spoke. No one dared. When the last Kazat ship crossed the boundary of human territory, the human fleet stopped. They did not chase. They did not threaten. They simply turned and disappeared, vanishing into the darkness. Like shadows melting into night, Admiral Varric stared at the empty space behind them, still shaken. He had expected a triumphant invasion. Instead,